got in, just kind of checking out a few things. And we have to check into the hotel. I'm going to turn this around and let you guys see a few things here. Hopefully you can hear me. So here's the church, Salt, Eglise. Go to the church in a minute. General location where the house was that was on fire. June 6th. You can actually see over here. Yeah. Let's go inside the church. Can you hear me now? Is this better? It's very windy. Sorry guys, yeah, at the very opening of this video. At the very opening of the video, I said that it was very windy out here and that you probably would not be able to hear me. So I'm just going to, just kind of a test run here, but I'm going to step inside the church here. We're at St. Mary Eglise in the Utah Beach sector. And what I was trying to show you is right over here. This is the Airborne Museum. It's in the general location of where the house that caught on fire the night of June 6th. That's where the Airborne Museum is located. And we're going to head into that museum. Not today. We just got in, arrived 7 o'clock this morning, which is 1 o'clock in the morning our time, and then drove 4 hours here. So we haven't checked into the hotel yet, but we're just kind of doing a sneak peek to St. Mary Eglise before we go. But I'll show you another thing right here. Hold on. Go in the church in a second. This bed and breakfast is where we stayed last time in 2018, and a couple things about that bed and breakfast. One, it's where the German garrison was headquartered. We actually have some pictures of a Nazi flag hanging out over that door with a German sentry standing guard. So that's where we stayed. And behind it, the courtyard. If you remember The Longest Day, there's a scene where a paratrooper falls into a courtyard and falls into a well and goes down into the well. That's in the courtyard of that building right there. The facade, the rock or stone facade, is not there anymore, but there's a hole in the courtyard and there's glass over the hole to let you know that that is where that paratrooper landed. Earl McClung actually landed right around this corner. Sorry, get out from the wind. I may show that to you, but the trees here are not, I think the trees, there were a lot more trees back in 1944. Paratroopers got hung in them. They were a lot taller, all along the outskirts here as well. But one thing to note is in The Longest Day, it shows that the 82nd Airborne F Company 505 Parachute Infantry Regiment landed here first, when actually it was F Company 506. They actually landed. There were about 6 or 7 guys that landed here in the actual square. One of them was a guy named Private Rhodes. He actually landed right there in that corner. He played dead. Germans came over and kicked him a little bit, and then about that time, the 2nd Airborne started to land, and their attention was drawn towards them. Another Private Arbisher landed right here in front of the church door. Same thing, F Company 506, which was 2nd Battalion, 101st Airborne. 2nd Battalion 506, 101st Airborne. They landed right here in front of the church. And then went and jumped across that there. So let's go inside the church, take a look. Sorry guys, this is just kind of off the cuff. They just had a funeral in here about 45 minutes ago. So they're just now letting people back in. Look at this stained glass right here. Airborne, 82nd. June 6th. And look at this, in the back church. Beautiful. Sorry about the wind, guys. Don't know how many great videos I'm gonna be able to get with all windy. Head out, kind of be reverent here. Well, just a brief start. We're gonna head on to check into our hotel. Just want to let you guys see the church. This is the square, the courtyard, where all the French civilians, locals, were gathered trying to put out the fire that was over here. Talked about some troopers that landed here. Incidentally, there were two paratroopers apparently that landed. John Steele landed on this side, and a guy named Ken Russell as well. And then a paratrooper named John Ray, who's buried at the American Cemetery. He landed, and there was a German about to shoot Ken Russell and John Steele that were hanging up over here on this side, actually. And there's a plaque down here on a wall, and the plaque actually says that the mannequin of John Steele was put on this side of the church just so tourists could see it easier, but he actually landed here on this side. But John Steele and Ken Russell both landed here. There was a guy by John Ray who was in the 505th, landed here in the courtyard, and right before a German shot them, he shot the German turned around and shot John Ray back. Ken Russell jumped down, hopped over this to escape, and of course John Steele was captured, so the story goes. And John Ray was left for dead. He was actually wounded, but mortally wounded. He actually ended up dying the next day on June 7th and is buried in the cemetery. One last thing is, you can see way over here in the corner, there's a restaurant called, it has that maroon burgundy paint front. Coquinier, the owner of that, is a guy named Eglise. And back in 2018, he told us that John Steele was taken to his father's house for a prisoner of war. So just some little interesting tidbits of Sainte Mère Eglise. And but we're gonna go check into the bed and breakfast. Hope you guys tune in throughout this week. We are live in Normandy. We'll be popping on perhaps several times a day, different locations. Hopefully the wind won't be too bad to where you can hear me throughout the week. But you know, I'll do the best I can. So thanks, guys. Hope you're doing well, and we'll see you